Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Ali Iftikhar. Welcome to today's video. Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, because that's the hot topic right now. So a subscriber asked me that he is eligible for both substreams of Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. Those of you who don't know, Saskatchewan has many substreams, and those that do not require a job offer, there are only two substreams of SINP, right? Because every province has substreams with job offers, substreams without job offers, and OINP and SINP. These are the two realistic PNP programs without the need of a job offer, right? So Saskatchewan has two substreams of such. One is called Express Entry Substream. The other one is called OID substream. OID is equal to Occupations in Demand. These are the two substreams. Now let's answer that subscriber's question so that most of you will also get the answer. There are two scenarios. Okay, so the first scenario is that to become eligible for Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program, there is a grid point system of Saskatchewan which is different from SINP 6 selection factors. It is particularly for SINP. Okay, and on that SINP points grid, you need to hold at least 60 points to be eligible. Then you are eligible to show your interest, to create an expression of interest, EOI. Now this EOI is most similar to the express entry profile that you create, where you show your interest that you want to immigrate to Canada. Now in this expression of interest, EOI, you show your interest that you want to immigrate to Saskatchewan. Okay, this is something. So the basic eligibility is met if you score 60 points on the SINP grid system. Okay, now you can create your expression of interest, you can create your profile on the Oasis portal. That's the portal name of SINP. Okay, but they will ask you a question: do you have an express entry profile? Okay, so if you have an express entry profile, maybe your CRS could be 350, 320 or 580, still you have a valid express entry profile. If you have that, you provide your valid express entry profile number and you will be in the EOI pool of the SINP EE category, SINP express entry subcategory, right? So that's the basic eligibility met of 60 points on the SINP points grid, and you have a valid express entry profile. Now this question arose sometimes back, once upon a time, right? SINP held a draw where they did not invite people from the express entry EOI pool. Okay, they invited only people from the OID category, and OID subcategory is for those people who do not have an express entry profile, meaning they are not eligible, maybe because of their age, because of their IELTS score or whatever. They are ineligible to create their express entry profile, but they are eligible to score 60 points on the SINP grade. So they are the OID class. Okay, so once upon a time, Saskatchewan only selected the OID class. Okay, once they did that, people started asking questions that I have an EOI on the SINP Oasis portal with express entry substream. So should I withdraw my EOI and create a new EOI with the OI subcategory? So at that time, I told everyone that do not do that. There is no need to do that, right? And I asked people to continue with their express entry subcategory stream because that's the right way. That's the right way of doing things. Then later on, after some time, they held on a draw, and in that draw, they did not select the OID category. Instead, they selected the express entry category. So it is said that one man's treasure is another man's, one man's trash is another man's treasure, right? And vice versa, one man's treasure is another man's trash. So things are going to be like this. Some situations will be favorable to your particular case, and some situations will be favorable to somebody else's particular case. Okay, so don't worry about these things. Now this is the prime difference between these two subcategories. One type of people are eligible for express entry profile and they have valid express entry profile. The other type of people are not eligible for express entry profile, but they are eligible for Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. So that's why they still have an option of applying through the SINP OID category. Now, that was the one difference. Now, when we talk about the processing of application, again, clarifying this point, that if you show your interest by creating an express entry profile, by creating a Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program expression of interest, that is simply an expression of interest. It is not an application. It is not a file that people refer to, right? So once you have created your expression of interest, that puts you in the pool of selection. Then if your score and if your occupation, both of these things are selected in a particular draw, then you get an ITA, invitation to apply. And after receiving that invitation to apply, you submit your application to the province of Saskatchewan. Now, when we talk about the express entry substream, the processing is fast. When we talk about the OID substream, the processing is slow. People, it is not paper-based anymore. Keep that in mind. It is all online, even if you apply through the OID subcategory. It was paper-based while back, not right now. It is all online, but still we refer to that as paper-based application, which is not really paper-based. Okay, it's all online. But the processing of OID is slow. Okay, then once you receive your nomination from the province, then you apply to IRCC for your permanent residence. Okay, and after you submit your application to IRCC, they give you an acknowledgement of receipt. In express entry subcategory case, acknowledgement of receipt is received within a few hours. But I know people who've been waiting for 6 months and they have still not received their acknowledgement of receipt from IRCC for their OID application. That shows that the OID subcategory, because it's supposed to be paper-based, it is delayed. And express entry substream, it is express. So it is fast. So this is a major difference. If you want to move to Canada quickly, then you need to apply through the express entry profile. Now, I know there was a guy, he's a very, he's a very knowledgeable person. And he said that he applied to the SINP OID category because his occupation was in demand. That's not the right definition. That is not the right definition. Occupation in demand literally means OID, right? But if your NOC code is in demand, you can still create express entry subcategory expression of interest. That is not an excuse. That is not the logic. That is not the definition. Okay. So if you have an express entry profile, please create your EOI with the express entry substream because your application will be processed faster if you are selected, if you receive an invitation to apply. Okay. So now this video is getting a lot longer, but I hope it answers the fundamental questions that you might have about Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. What are the subcategories and what are the major differences? Because these are the things that people are confused about, right? I hope not anymore. So with these words, this is Ali Iftikhar, and I'm hoping great things are coming your way.